Take my hat off. Squirrel said take your hat off, you're gonna lose it. Back there a little ways, there was an option to continue with the Appalachian Trail or go on to the Clingman Dome Trail and go up to the tower. So I contemplated it for a minute, and then I saw a cricket walk by, so I figured I'd come up here, and it's a nice time to take a rest and maybe get something to eat. We're gonna turn this around and so it looks like this ridge right here, right of that, my right is Tennessee, left of that ridge, North Carolina. So I hiked out of the Smokies this morning with Squirrel and Stairmaster, and Smokies over there. We hiked down this morning with our exit permits, and then went into Standing Bear Farm, had some pizza, had some lunch, a couple sodas, PBR, and then decided to get back up on trail. We're heading about 5 miles in, I think, maybe 7. To the next shelter, and we're going to camp out there. So my GoPro, for some reason, the SD card is full, and I can't get the rest of those uploaded at this point, so I'm going to have to figure that out when I get to Hot Springs. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody that wished me a happy birthday. It's been absolutely amazing, and I'm looking forward to some more views and getting some rest here in a little bit. So I appreciate you guys, and thanks again for following along. So what happened last night is, after a whole day at Standing Bear, well, at least a couple hours, and camp here, which is definitely an hour or two, I'm messing around with the GoPro, my camera, on my phone. I accidentally reformatted it and deleted all the video I had since leaving Gatlinburg. So as I hike out of camp here, I'm gonna try to recap what I can recall. That's the thing about having video, it's like you miss some things that, whether it's a view, I can't recap that, but maybe the line of events. So we got a shuttle out of Gatlinburg by a church group that runs like every day in March and April from Gatlinburg back up to Newfound Gap. So it was myself, Squirrel, who I've been running with the last couple of days, Puff, Podcast, Lorax, and Bumble Bee, and a woman from Nova Scotia named Wendy. So we all got off at Newfound Gap, and Squirrel and I got a head start from the other girls. Wendy actually took off ahead of us, and she's been trying to put in 20 mile plus days. She wants to be done in June. We're hiking, kind of Squirrel and I leapfrog from that spot with her and caught up with her at the actually I ended up hiking with a guy named Friend from Massachusetts who's also doing 20 plus mile days, and it had only been on the trail 9 days. So this was through the Smokies, and he was killing it. So we were literally running up and down the trail ridges of the Smokies the last day with him. Did a pretty good mile a day and finally stopped at this shelter. And so kind of inclement weather that day. It started raining, wind picked up, still some kind of nasty weather in the Smokies. So we, Squirrel and I, get to camp early. First one's there, starts setting up for a fire. We get all that situated, and a couple other people rolling, some day hikers, and then the rest of our crew starts rolling in, including Stairmaster and some other kids, Samurai, that I met, Jake from Vermont. So it was a big day. Next day, most of the crew that I just mentioned, we all do like a 20-mile day. 21 for me, because I went up to the fire tower, kind of accidentally, and I was kind of boasting on video that I had beat Stairmaster and Squirrel and everybody up to the top of the mountain. I had left a little early, about an hour they said. Then after I get off this side trail going to this fire tower, we're only like 3 miles from camp 4. Get back off the side trail, start heading back the right way towards camp. And don't I come up behind Squirrel, Patriarch, and FrostBite. So FrostBite's on a video that's just released. I think it was my 7th day on trail. I'm at least 3 weeks in now. So I haven't seen him in a while. And I still haven't heard the story yet. Probably got his trail name, but guy from Detroit, out here for retirement. Patriarch beat us off the Smokies. He had hiking the night before and went into Standing Bear. He's 69, 29 grandchildren. I don't know if I mentioned that before. We stay at that camp after the 20 miles and all of us meet back up again. So FrostBite stays there. The girls that I mentioned, Podcast, Puff, Lorax, Bumble Bee, Stairmaster, Squirrel, myself, Jake, and we're all exhausted and defeated, and just a long day. So next day, it's only like 5 miles to Standing Bear. Okay, it's my birthday. Wake up, happy birthdays all around. Hiking to Standing Bear, actually hike down off the mountain, meet at Trail Magic, and we take it easy, go to Standing Bear, hang out there, a couple pizzas, a couple sodas, chips, candy, and I really was considering staying, but it's certainly something you can get caught up in, and the hike today would have been a lot worse had I stayed. So we got up probably before 1:32, headed up the next trail, which was 5 miles straight up. We did, I think, between 9 and 11, somewhere in there yesterday, and all of us got to the same camp again, camped out. The idea from here is that we put in 2 solid days and get to hot springs for a 0 or double zeros. But I think I'm gonna try to do my best to get as far as I can today, try to narrow in tomorrow a good 0 and get back on trail Sunday. So all uphill always. So I wanted to also recap dinner. I had dinner with Captain VonTrapp and his wife and his in-laws in Gatlinburg. Had a nice steak and some broccoli. Was able to meet those guys and hang out while he took some time off to meet some family. So that was real nice. But unfortunately, you know, we had to finish off the Smokies without him. And what I was going to say, reflecting on the Smokies, is that the Smokies have a unique way of putting and kind of forcing groups of hikers together, because it's mandatory that you stay at shelters. So the last couple of days, 3 days or 4 or so, 3, we've really started to see a lot of the same people at the same shelters that you're staying at, and I guess you would liken that to your tramily. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not saying that, you know, that is my tramily, but one thing I know is that, you know, I'm still a lone Remy dog kind of finding his way home. So I like getting out hiking on my own and kind of tenting away from people, and again, hike your own hike, don't let anybody steal it. I kind of want to get back to that a little bit more as we get out of the Smokies now. So told those guys for sure to meet up with them, just wasn't sure what time or if even at the same site. They're fast, they'll catch up. So I was talking to Patriarch this morning when I got up, and we're breaking camp. We kind of camped up the hill next to each other. It was the most tired I felt in the morning. Just like drained. My body didn't want to move at all. You know, I even had been awake for a while. I was just like drained. I kept thinking, like, why yesterday of all days after my birthday? But honestly, I ate like garbage all day. I think one of the first things they had was a honey bun, some candy. I did have some dill pickles that were a gift, a little Trail Magic from Stairmaster. Candy. Then at the Trail Magic on the just before Standing Bear, soda, chips. At Standing Bear, more soda, more chips, pizza, and just really ate like garbage yesterday. Last night I did have a nice meal and some tea, but I definitely can't be eating all that sugar and nonsense because I could feel it. I could definitely tell this morning when I woke up. And it's not my age, folks. It was the food. So you treat your body right. If you eat right, if you exercise, definitely should have enough energy to do anything. Okay, a little quick health update. My knees are certainly feeling better. I haven't had to ice them or really attend to them too much. So it was just a lot of tendonitis from overuse. And I think the muscles and the things around my knees that haven't been used in a while are stabilizing now, and the pain has subsided. My feet had become an issue after the road walk from Newfound Gap into Gatlinburg. I had a number of, well, at least 2 or 3 different blisters, and one on each side of my heel outside, and then my toes a little bit. One of my toes was bruised from who knows what. But I caught that coming out to that 20-mile day we did coming out of the Smokies. First step out of camp, caught that same toe right on a root. So been tending to my feet a little bit more. A lot of us in the group are soaking our feet any stream crossing we can get to now that the weather isn't going to be hypothermic. So that's definitely been helpful. Keeping up with the anti-inflammatory, and just rolling or stretching at the end of the night certainly helps out too. And just making that a regular habit, taking care of my body, and it goes a long ways for the next day's walk. As of right now, I just tended to that bruised toe a little bit this morning. Didn't really have to do anything with the blisters. They're callousing over now in each spot. And the only other thing I ran into is yesterday coming down from the Smokies, my last step off of the trail into the Trail Magic. As we crossed over before Standing Bear, I rolled my left ankle a bit, and if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 for ankle rolls, it was about a 1, 1.5. Soaked it a couple times last night and stretched out, took some ibuprofen this morning, and we're golden. So there's your health update. Other than that, I'll show you a picture of how humid it is in a minute. Staying hydrated. What is it? I'll have to edit all this stuff out. I don't know, I think it's probably 8:39 in the morning, somewhere around in there. And I'm soaked, drenched through, so stay hydrated. Okay, we're at Brown Gap, elevation 3,500. We're looking at max patch. We want to get there at 3.5. We'll take a break. We should be getting close. And then the rest of the day is kind of downhill, so I was hoping it was similar to a trail like this, because these are money. Not a lot of roots, not a lot of rocks. Fairly even incline or decline. And those you can cruise on. So I'll let you know when we get to max patch and take a break. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit. Called for rain showers. Hopefully it holds out. Made it down to this crossing here. I'm gonna take a break. A little humid still. So we'll just check the sign, see what it says over here. Max patch finishing site. All right. So where are we here? I'm sure that's the summit access right there, but I ain't going up there. All right, we'll see you guys in a few minutes. It's like a old cow fence or something. Little campground.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't see the kilt, but this is camo.
Camo! So after Max Patch, we did a little, I think it was 5.2. Just sat down and had lunch. I think it's like 2 o'clock. And trying to put another 7 in. That would put us 7 miles out of town for tomorrow. There's 2 big climbs and downhill. I was gonna say we have another, I think, bed in our bunkhouse, me and Squirrel, for Friday and Saturday in town there. So that was Jake from Vermont, or Ghost, and he said he's gonna stay there at that site and then get picked up at the Gap tomorrow. And he's going to a different hostel for 2 nights. I told him that we had, pretty sure we have an extra bed, but we'll see what Squirrel thinks when we get up here. And apparently he also told me that those guys said that they're gonna push straight through or try to. So we'll see where we end up and if I can catch up with them at all tonight. If not, we'll all be in town tomorrow at some point. And there's a couple of packages to be sent back home. Get rid of my winter gear. The non-essentials from the Smokies, or rather, they didn't use in the Smokies. So we catch up with you guys when we get to wherever I'm going, northbound. Look at those 2 goofballs walking down the trail. And then we're pretty far up there, so we're going to be going down quite a ways. It's all downhill from here, and then we got 7 miles. Hopefully we'll get to a gap. I can't remember the name of it, but get down there and camp tonight, and then we have 7 miles in the morning. Should be in town before lunch. So we just cameled up and got some water for dinner tonight. It looks like we're going to be stopping at this campsite that's 0.5 away, rather than go to another mile in the town, a Gap rather. So scratch that. We just went past the tent site and there's 3 tents there and no other space. So we are moving on another mile. What, mile 0.7? 1.7? 1.5 to the Gap to see and take our chances there. This is where we're going. Right here. Making a new tent spot.
That whole experience. There was one that I couldn't really dig 6 inches because of roots, and it was like on a hill. Yeah. Because like where we camped, there was no flat spot other than the camp area. Yeah. So, and then the one I told you where I looked up and I saw a blaze when I was done.
Oh, so you just pooped on the trail?
It wasn't on the trail, but like if someone walked by, they could have seen me.